Multiple Mets moves have been made these last couple of days, including one that was just reported right now by Ken Rosenthal, and it is another starting pitching addition. So we're going to get into my reaction for it and what this means for our pitching staff going forward, and we're going to cover all the moves that the Mets have made these last couple of days. What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in, and you are tuned in to this edition of Mets Digest with your host, Michael DeAngelo, as you see on the screen. Before I get started, I got to say thank you guys for all the recent support recently, and your guys' and the views on the videos have been going nuts. So I really appreciate you guys to the moon and back. Me and Flowo boys have been trying to be on top of every single report for you guys that comes out during these free agent winter meetings. Flowo just killed it on that last Pete Alonso update. Make sure you guys go watch that. And look, 76% of you guys watching these videos aren't even subscribed. So if you're new here, welcome on in. Welcome to the team. Please hit that subscribe button because me and Flobo are on top of everything. All trade rumors, free agency rumors, roster updates, injuries, all of that good stuff right here, all covered in one spot for you right here on Mets Digest. So yeah, let's get started here. And that is the first couple of moves that were made a couple days ago, were the Mets signing two former KBO teammates. They were both teammates on the Bears, and it goes by the names of utility man Jared Young and left-handed pitcher Brandon Waddell. Right? Waddell? Okay, yeah. Making sure I pronounce that right. And Jared Young, in general, him by himself, is a very interesting character. He is a super utility man that has pretty much played every single position besides catcher, pitcher, and center field. So he was signed to a major league contract. Now, when a guy is signed to a major league contract, it doesn't exactly mean that he's going to start on the major league roster. He will be definitely placed on the 40-man roster, but this man will most likely be starting in AAA. Now, he played for AAA last year for around 47 games with the St. Louis Cardinals, and then afterwards then went on to the KBO. And you can kind of see his stats right there. Let me make that bigger for you guys. He split 24 between Korea and AAA. Like I said, he hit 285 with a 411 and 508 on base. With 11 home runs in 70, or excuse me, I had the numbers flipped. It's actually 74 games in AAA. And then he hit 326 with 420 slugging and 10 home runs in 38 KBO games. So, this man knows how to hit with average, and definitely a good AAA signing for the Mets. This is a good guy to bring up to the major leagues if guys like Jeff McNeil, Luis Angel Acuna, and any other corner outfielder were to get injured, this will most likely be somebody that would be considered to get pulled up. We still have guys down in AAA like Drew Gilbert, like Ryan Clifford, who can also play the outfield and the infield. So this is just another depth signing to kind of fill up that AAA roster. And getting into another AAA roster fill, the Mets have signed catcher Chris Williams to a minor league contract, and he's 28 years old. He was an 8th round pick by the Twins in 2017, and he spent his last 3 seasons in AAA. Now, I'm not sure if our other AAA catcher, Logan Porter, who we signed from the Kansas City Royals last season, is out or not. I'm not sure if he's still on the team or not, but if so, then Chris Williams would most likely be the replacement, as they're looking for kind of another veteran presence from the catcher position, with guys who are looking to really start at catcher, who the Mets are expecting to make their AAA debuts this year, guys like Ronald Hernandez, and of course Kevin Parada, who has been kind of circulating around a lot of trade rumors recently, which we'll get into that. We'll touch on that a little bit when we get into this next move, and that is that the Mets have signed starting pitcher Griffin Canning from the Angels. Now, it's kind of funny that that the system uploaded his Braves screenshot, and it was kind of interesting that he took his headshot for the Braves that quickly. This guy was traded from the Angels to the Atlanta Braves this offseason for Jorge Soler. So now Jorge Soler is on the Angels, And Griffin Canning was then later non-tendered by the Atlanta Braves, and that's what granted him free agency. And the Mets signed him to a 1-year, $4.25 million contract. Now, this man, look, if you guys, I've said this before in the beginning videos of this channel, and I know there's a lot of new people here, but I am from the Anaheim area, so I've definitely had my days where I would go to Angel Stadium and see Griffin Canning pitch. And look, this guy has really not panned out to the player that he's supposed to be. He went to UCLA. He was a pretty decently high draft pick. And this man has just not, let's go back to his stats. He has not really panned out to what he's supposed to be right now. You see his ERA being above a 5. With the 31% win percentages, his record is way below 500. But look, there are some positives to this man as well. He has recently won a Gold Glove, so we know he can field his position, something that the Mets are pretty critical of. Their infield defense was superb last year, and they're definitely looking for guys to keep that up. And another good thing is, he's got some good stuff to him. His fastball needs a lot of work. It doesn't top out. It's not too high on the velocity scale, but he combos it nicely with a big I was about to say hanging curveball. With a nice hammer and a nice 12-6 curve that he has along with it. So look, this is another project for Jeremy Hefner, basically. We've seen David Stearns turn to this strategy over and over again, where he's signing these misfit pitchers and is relying basically on his major league pitching coaching staff to sort of just fix these guys, I guess. We've seen it time and time again with guys like Jose Quintana, Sean Manaea, Luis Severino, guys coming off of mediocre seasons and just turning out to be good, solid players for a playoff team. And we're looking to do that again with a guy like Griffin Canning. Now, what this means for our pitching staff, because now I know what you guys are thinking, and I'm thinking the same thing too, which is what is actually going on with this starting rotation. Because now we have about 7 or 8 starters on this roster. If you want to go through it, it is Kodai Senga, David Peterson, Tyler McGill, Paul Blackburn, Griffin Canning, Frankie Montas, Clay Holmes. I know I cut myself off again because I forgot. But and another arm that a lot of people have been forgetting about, which we haven't talked about a lot this offseason, is Christian Scott as well, who's going to be coming back from some elbow surgery. So that's another guy that you got to look out for. We all know youth is a big trend now in today's league. He's also going to be fighting for a pitching rotation spot. So that's about 8 starters right now on this roster. And I don't know if you guys smell it too, but I do. I think a trade will be coming soon. We have young guys who are under team control, like Tyler McGill. Paul Blackburn is under team control for another year. Christian Scott, like I said, I'm sure David Peterson is untouchable at this point, but it could be another young guy thrown in for a trade for a bigger player. But for the most part, I'm very interested to see the next David Stearns press conference, because now that we have 8 starting pitchers on this roster, I'm not entirely too sure of what their thought process is. Most of them are right-handers as well, David Peterson being the only lefty. Sean Manaea is gone, or at least for right now, he's gone. I highly doubt that they sign him now after this, because now, now your rotation is just filled. And, it's already has been announced that Clay Holmes will be used as a starting pitcher, at least to start the season with. My guess is, he's maybe just having these depth signings for that. If this Clay Holmes experiment doesn't work out, they put him into the bullpen and they can replace him with somebody else. Now, since that, what could we trade for? I have no idea. I mean, the only things that you really need besides starting pitching is bullpen help. So, you're not going to trade a bunch of starters for some more starting pitching help unless it's for an ace, which I would love. I would love Luis Castillo. That was what my last video was on Luis Castillo. If you guys want the recent update with that, go check it out, since nothing has really changed since last week. But for the most part, I mean, we're still looking for our corner infield replacement. You know, rumblings of Alex Bregman have come up. We will have a video on that soon. You know, we've heard all the Pete Alonso buzz, and you know, other teams are gonna, his market is going to start to go up. Other teams are going to want him as well. We've seen rumblings now of the Yankees looking to maybe possibly give an offer to Pete Alonso. So, you know, this could be just a build up for a trade. You know, this could be guys that are going to be waived after spring training. These could be guys that are going to be waived before the trade deadline. They could be waived after the first week of the season. We've seen David Stearns make cuts like nothing through like the first couple weeks of the season, like with Jorge Lopez, what we saw after his fiasco with against the Dodgers. And I mean, with so much money to spend and with so much money at, you know, on his table, being able to spend, you know, signings like this are going to happen. So we'll see what happens next. That is all I have for you guys here today on Mets Digest. So make sure you guys subscribe down below. Give the video a like. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about all of this, because these are some pretty interesting moves that are being made. And, you know, now we have 8 starting pitchers that are on this major league roster who can easily be in a major league rotation. And you know, we need guys for the bullpen as well. And, you know, we're still out here signing starters. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Good night, y'all.